Hello everyone, April here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a wrap up of all the books, well comics, I read in the month of January. Most were good. One was... Before we get started, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. The support is really appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. I plan on creating more geeky content that I really hope you will enjoy. Now that housekeeping is done, let's jump right in. I found a couple of gems on a subscriber's channel. His name is JT. He has a comic review channel right here on YouTube. I'll put a link to there in the description below. And while perusing some of the videos, I found two things that I really wanted to read. First up, we have Batman Earth 1. This is written by Geoff Johns and illustrated by Gary Frank. And what attracted me to it were the illustrations. This is a really good looking book. It has great details and a good use of color and shading. Really nice. As for the story, it's a pseudo-origin tale. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but the Martha and Thomas Wayne murders were pivotal to the plot. What really shines was the relationship between ex-military Alfred Pennyworth and a 20-something Bruce Wayne. Bruce is still finding his footing as the Caped Crusader. His gadgets are faulty and his suit offers little to no protection. And Alfred is at his wit's end, with Bruce coming home with bruises and almost dying. There is a literal battle of wills between the two. And at the end, we see them both kind of let go. One lets go of the past in order to embrace the man he wants to become, and the other lets go of the child he raised to also support the man he hopes he will be. It's really nice, and I did enjoy this story. There is a second story as well that involves Harvey Bullock. He's new to Gotham. All I can say is he was not ready. I've purchased volume 2 and I hope to get volume 3 when it comes out, but that's probably a few ways off because it won't be released until after Doomsday Clock is completed. Next, I have Batman, the Dark Prince Charming, written and illustrated by Enrico Marini. What drew me to this again were the illustrations. Let's see, here we go. Marini's watercolor style is really stunning. It complements the mood of the story. It's a brighter and more whimsical narrative than Johns. This was a really fun read. It evokes kind of an old school Adam West, not too campy, just humorous. There are two storylines here that eventually do intersect. One involves the Joker and his quest to find Harley Quinn a birthday present. She's not really down for his kind of consolation prizes, so she puts his feet to the fire and tells him he needs to get her something nice. And in his effort to do so, he kind of bumps into the second story. I'm not gonna give the plot away because no spoilers, but it does involve Bruce Wayne and it has an issue that needs resolution. So far, I'm really liking the story. This does end in a cliffhanger, but when I check Marini's Facebook page, I'll link that also in the description below. He said that the next book is expected to be released in June. And he also posts a couple of videos where you can see him coloring in some of the panels for the issue. So that's really fun. I like this one. So thanks, JT. Let's stay with DC. Next up is Doomsday Clock, issues 1 and 2. This is a 12-issue series that is written by Geoff Johns and illustrated again by Gary Frank. This is a Watchmen comic at its core. Issue 1 picks up a few years after the Watchmen series ends. As you can see from the cover, Ozymandias' plan did not go as well as he expected. Surprise, surprise. And he's also been revealed as the true perpetrator of the tragedy, and he's now in hiding. However, he has a plan to set things straight. And on top of that, he has convinced some other costume heroes to help him out. I know, who would after what he's done? However, his plan is to find Dr. Manhattan and convince him to come back to fix everything he broke. I mean, the balls on this guy. He believes he's tracked Dr. Manhattan to the DC universe where Superman and Batman exist. And that's all I'm really gonna say right now. What I will say is John has done a good job of capturing the voice and tempo of the Watchmen series. And Gary Frank, look at that. He's done a great job in maintaining continuity with the original series and giving it a fresh update. Really nice work. Issue 2. Now, I'm no purist. I know The Watchmen is a seminal piece and some people feel that the canon shouldn't be touched, but I'm reserving judgment. Besides, the train has already left the station. DC and John have already been hinting at this for a while. First it was in Rebirth, then it was in The Button. I believe Doomsday Clock is supposed to be kind of a crescendo of that narrative. I just hope it lives up to the hype. But so far, I'm liking it. Next, we're leaving the DCU and going to IDW territory with Lock and Key Volume 2 Head Games. In my last video, I may have gushed a little bit about how great Joe Hill was and how awesome this story is. I'll try to hold back this time, but I have to say, this is almost as good as the first volume. I won't give too much away, but the story moves forward with the discovery of another key, the head key. This key allows the user to literally open anyone's head and add or remove memories, emotions, or information. It sounds great on face value, but obviously it comes with some downsides. As for our well dweller, it's still up to no good, and it does have uses for this key, but it is not what it's ultimately after. It does get more involved with the Locke family, and no one is safe. Once again, Gabriel Rodriguez does an amazing job with the illustrations. Look at this. This is inside someone's head. Look how beautifully surreal this is. This is just awesome. I've already purchased Volume 3 and I plan to read it tonight. Gush gush, Joe Hill is awesome. After all that awesome, it almost pains me to present this next book. Marvel's Star Wars Captain Phasma. It was written by Kelly Thompson and illustrated by Mark Checchetto. Simply put, this was just bad. Ugh. Maybe it's me. Maybe I expected too much. There isn't much out there in regards to Phasma. So I was really looking for something that could give me some details and some backstory to who she is as a character. This offers nothing. The plot starts somewhere after The Force Awakens ends. Phasma has escaped the garbage chute and is on a singular mission to cover her ass to make sure nobody finds out that she was the one who lowered the shields to the Starkiller base. Now, you think of something like that would give you a whole lot of inner dialogue and information that'll give you insight to who she is as a character and what is her motivation. Nah, what we got was a trite, shallow story that was so predictable. It was irritating. However, it is a pretty book. Lots of pretty glossy panels. See? But at the end, it just comes off as a Disney cash grab. Obviously, I'm disappointed. Moving on. I have Marvel's Star Wars Darth Vader issues 9 and 10. This is written by Charles Soule and illustrated by Giuseppe Camuncoli. Now this I actually liked. Unlike Phasma, this has a proper storyline. We catch up with Anakin Skywalker after the rise of the Sith. Palpatine has basically charged him with the task of completing his mission of eradicating the Jedi from the galaxy. There are other stories kind of in here, but I don't want to give too much away. Now, there are other books and narratives out there that kind of speak to what happens with Darth Vader between episode 3 and 4. However, what I like about Soule's story is that where it is clear Anakin is pretty over the whole Jedi thing, but I'm not 100% certain if he's committed to the Sith or he is committed to Palpatine. He seems to have his own agenda brewing underneath. It could just be a struggle with the light in the dark, but I can't say that Palpatine is safe, and it makes me wonder whether or not he was always biding his time for something to happen. I could just be reading into it, but that's what I'm getting. As for the artwork, it's just okay. Some of the issues have been better, but overall it's pretty satisfactory. I gotta say that I am a Darth Vader fan, so I'm pretty easy to please. Just give me a great story and I'm there for the ride. Overall, the story's winning, and I'll continue to read it. Lastly, I have Paper Girls Volume 2. This was written by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Chiang. Now, last time I read Volume 1, and I said I was underwhelmed, but I was willing to give Volume 2 a chance because I am a Brian K. Vaughan fan. And I'm glad I did because this was great. This story really picks up, and character development is what won me over in the end. Erin is one of the girls, and she is highlighted in this issue. Her interaction with her friends and some new acquaintances was sweet, funny, and in some cases thrilling. The story really picks up the pace, and honestly, there wasn't a dull moment. And as before, Chiang's art is great. The retro feel does add so much to the story. I really like this one. In fact, I like Volume 2 so much that I actually reread Volume 1 just to see if I may have just misjudged or had a bad reading day, but no, I still kind of feel it was weak compared to this one. If you felt the same way, try Volume 2. It gets much better. And from what I've been told, Volume 3 is even more so. So I'm really excited to get my hands on that one. I'm glad I stuck with it because it's turning out to be a really good read. Well, that's it, folks. Those were all the comics that I read in January. It was a good month. I've already started buying for February, and I'm expecting some deliveries this week and possibly next week. But what did you think? If you read any of these comics, please comment below. Tell me what your thoughts are. I really love to hear them. And if you have any suggestions for some other books that I should be looking into, please leave those as well. I'm always on the hunt for a good story. I know this was a long one, so thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And as always, be well. And I hope to see you again next time. Bye.